Dog missing for 6 weeks found 900 miles away. The two went for a much-needed break. But when they arrived back home they couldn't believe that their chihuahua, Lucy, was missing. They looked everywhere for their beautiful dog, but they couldn't find them anywhere. But then they got a strange call from Las Vegas, something strange was going on and they'd have to get to the bottom of it. Jared and Christy Owens felt that they needed a much-deserved break, so they spent a weekend in Las Vegas. They would meet up with friends there for a weekend of fun. The couple lived in Texas and both worked as advertisers. They had very busy lives, and the day they had to leave for their vacation was no different. They packed everything they needed into their bags and got into their car. They left packing until the last minute because they had been working late to compensate for their weekend away. They put out everything that their dog would need and even booked a sitter to come by and look after her over a weekend. The couple managed to get to their flight just at the right time. They put their luggage in the cargo hold and ran through the terminal to their flight just in the nick of time. The two went on to have a relaxing rest in Las Vegas, but had no idea what they would come home to. They thought that they'd see the sitter holding their Lucy, but they were shocked to just see the sitter sitting in their driveway, her head in her hands. Something was very wrong. It turns out that Lucy was gone, but where she was would be in the last place that they would have thought to check. The sitter sprinted to their car and told them she'd been ringing them all weekend. When she got to their house Lucy was already missing. She told them that maybe they had let her out accidentally when they left in a hurry. She'd searched the entire neighborhood the entire weekend for their dog but couldn't find her. Lucy was an old chihuahua and there wasn't a chance she would be able to sustain herself on the streets. The two started calling all of their neighbors, asking if they had seen their Lucy, but the strangest thing was that they had said no. They knew their poor chihuahua wouldn't make it far on their own. They needed to find her. Their dog had never done anything like this before. She loved her owners and her home. She would always follow them wherever they went, so where was she now? She was a clingy dog that never left their side. Jared felt like it was extremely suspicious that she had just ran away. It wasn't like her. The couple called every shelter in town to make sure she wasn't handed in or found. Once they confirmed that she wasn't, they couldn't ignore the more obvious conclusion. Someone must have taken her. Christy and Jared were distraught. But just as they began to come up with a plan to find her, they got a strange call. Jared answered the phone. It was a man calling from Las Vegas. He asked Jared if he had lost his dog. Jared hesitated before he answered, "Yes. Who am I speaking to?" What was this man getting at? How did he know Lucy was missing? He listened carefully to what the man said next. His jaw dropped to the floor as his face went pale. Jared got a note and pen and scribbled down an address. He hung up the phone and told his wife to pack a bag. They were getting the first flight out to Las Vegas. The 3-hour flight felt like a lifetime. When they finally landed at the airport, they raced into the security holding area and there she was, Lucy. How was this possible? Lucy lay in the corner of the room. A woman looked up from her desk, questioningly. When she saw the shocked faces of Jared and Christy, she knew they must be her owners. "You're finally here. Lucy?" she called. Lucy looked up at her then across to Jared and Christy. Her ears perked up and she squealed. She excitedly raced into their open arms. "I bet you're wondering how she got here, huh?" the woman said. Airport security in Las Vegas detected movement in their luggage. When they opened it up at customs, they were shocked to find their 12-year-old dog, Lucy, hiding in Jared's suitcase. She was lying snugly in Jared's brown cowboy boot. When security opened the suitcase, they were relieved to find her perfectly calm and unharmed. But how did she get in there? Jared and Christy think that while they were packing hectically in the dark, Lucy hopped in the suitcase and curled up in the boot. Because the couple were tired and in a rush, as well as Lucy being so tiny they didn't see her in the suitcase and closed it up completely oblivious to what happened. Christy sobbed apologetically to Lucy, cuddling her as Jared thanked the staff for looking after her and making sure she got back to them okay. Luckily, Lucy got away from this incident scratch-free. Once the couple got back home, they shared Lucy's incredible story online. It soon went viral.